Hello, welcome to episode 14 of the Islanders podcast. My name's James.
And my name's Ian. So don't...
Daniel is not with us today.
Yeah.
Because he has to prepare for his midterms, which is quite scary.
For college students.
When you hear about his subjects that he has to
like
take tests.
some
Like
vocabulary
chemical analysis.
start with C or CHE or maybe...
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
So he's not with us here today. But we decided to continue to do an episode today just to talk about something that we are both interested in
and maybe
need some help with.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about management.
Management.
Yeah, it's a scary topic for students.
Yeah, and actually, students just seldom touch.
No, I think there are a lot of chances during our college life and high school life for us to experience management.
Yeah, there's events or activities you need to organize, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like average, most students didn't have the chance to get into to being part of the role of management.
I would say a lot of students would probably have the chance, but they don't necessarily take the chance.
Yeah, that would be true.
And I know it's really hard, both from our own experiences and But I think to have experience in some kind of management is beneficial for you, and it is something to learn.
It is quite something.
It's not just a term or like something you can learn on the internet, right?
And I think it's mostly you'll never you cannot done that very well in the first time. It would be there's no shortcut for this.
I think
it takes experience, right?
I think there are no born leaders, in management.
Yeah. But in management, but in leader, I think.
Oh, in leader,
you
yes.
Have some special charisma.
Yeah.
Maybe
but also
that will be the born leader.
This is something that is not true. Also, I heard
is that about charisma?
Yeah, there is a book about the myth about charisma.
Oh, really?
And it says that charisma can be nurtured.
That could be nurtured.
Can be artificially born, and not people are not born
with the
leaders. Yeah,
leaders. But I think, there's something is charisma, and there's some people just have the personalities or they have the abilities to maybe make the circumstances theirs, make the stage theirs. Yeah.
So
before
we talk about that whole topic, I'm a little tired today, actually.
Yeah.
I just opened a bottle of a Monster.
Yeah.
And some water, and hopefully I can
get through this.
Yeah, get through this hour. And,
okay.
Today's we record at a little bit different time than we normally do.
Yeah.
And
so it's not in phase with our other episodes that recorded.
But actually, we hope that this would be fun for you to listen to also.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also fun for
us
to
do this. Okay.
So there was a story you wanted to talk to me about, right? Just now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like what story?
Your book club or something?
Yeah. Okay. So like just in this semester, I've joined in a book club. It's about actually it's not all about management, but it was we're kind of leaded by a mentor, or advisor mentor, and he's like the 10th greatest manager. He had been the 10th greatest manager in Taiwan.
Oh,
be scored as or be listed as the best managers. So he's now working for ITRI. Have you
what's that?
Institute, the institution of the 公演院.
Oh, okay.
So he's kind of doing the research on how to manage scientifically, and actually he told us a lot of things about a very new concept for me. Actually, I think it's quite a cultural shock when I attend the book club the first time. So he talked about just running a company or running a team is never an easy work.
Yeah,
right.
True.
So like in he said that in Taiwan, most of the companies that were now very like prospective or is not that good at management part.
Oh, okay.
So in like maybe in America, in the US, or maybe in the Western Europe, they have developed a scientific system, and a lot of theories, right? That would be for the supporting all these systems for how to run the company, and how to run the company is actually it's not related to the product, but
it's a science of itself.
It's actually
right?
a social science.
Okay.
It's a method, and it is actually it's directly the department that it directly related to is not maybe the decision core. It's actually directly related to the HR section of the company.
I took a class about human resources.
The high-tech resource.
Also.
Right.
Yeah. And it talks about a lot of the theories, in running a company, and it's very complicated.
Very, very, very complicated.
And it requires a lot of skill, not only academically
Practice,
and also communication and all
skills.
That.
And actually, I think the best thing I learned from the mentor is that he valued sustainability very much.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually, he just give us the concept that actually having a simple method and the method can be sustained is more important than having a very complex method, but it's useful.
Yeah.
So
I think that is, when you talk about this, it's a lot like the philosophy I have with this podcast.
Starting with,
sustainability is definitely
is a king.
An issue. Yeah.
So I think.
So he was a CEO at some place before?
He have been maybe 2 or 3 CEOs in different companies. And actually he has been trained, or he has been he's a trainer in the consultant company, I think.
Oh, okay.
Consult company. So
now he's a professional CEO, teacher or something like that.
Yeah, but I think he's retired.
Oh, he retired. Okay.
Yeah. So so he's a very old man. So, but yeah, I think he give me a lot of insights on how to manage or how to. And actually, he there's a concept that he said is about the core of management is not about the method. The method all related to how to cultivate a man. Cultural,
okay.
How to
corporate culture.
Yeah. How to make your workers like motivated and willing to work with the team, the company. Yeah.
I mean, that sometimes require like a very powerful CEO that has a charisma of his own, I think. Sometimes
that would be one way to achieve that, but there's also methods and skills and the scientific way to do this. So that's the thing that he told us about in the book club, and gradually we're going to discover topics by topics, and I kept finding that the theory and the knowledge they have accumulated throughout the centuries
actually I'm very interested in that, and I think I need to go to this book club. Because a lot of the questions I have is now currently related to management, and I'm learning how to do this. And I've had my fair share of difficulties regarding this issue,
will be true.
Which we'll talk later.
Okay.
And, so very interested in this topic, and hopefully you can bring something to the table today. To maybe share something with me, what you learned in the book club a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So do we want to talk a little bit about your past experience in management, maybe?
Yeah. Okay. So like management is more like an organizer, or maybe kind of a team leader, right? So I think the biggest activities or events I've been held or I've been organized, I think started from my high school life, and at the third grade in senior high school, I've organized a presentation for my science. I've studied in a science class when I was in high school. So there's a kind of
annual event,
and we have to present our seminars, scientific research, like small research,
like a science fair.
More like a science fair. And we have to present group after group, and in the tradition of our science class, there will be like other events or performance or other like interesting stuff since most of the science thing is not so interested.
Yeah, it's quite boring. Yeah, you would add some activities
and
in the middle.
Yeah, some games or maybe some performances.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I organized that one. But overall, I think in my point of view now, I'd say that it sucks. I do.
Okay.
I fucked up. I fucked all that thing up.
Okay.
So, so
like you were in high school. I mean,
and that's the first time I've done this.
Yeah.
So that is the whole reason I say that I think no one can do this very well in the first time. Yeah. And actually I screwed up.
Or the second time or the third time.
Or the third time, yeah. And actually I screwed up
yeah.
tons of things at that event.
Okay.
Tons of things. So actually
wait till you hear my story.
Yeah. So so actually I've the following things I've done with management. Maybe I've been the vice place of the student association in my residential college.
Okay.
Like the dorm I lived in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also I've organized the camp. I've been the head of the I've been organizing the orientation camp of the residential college, and it's maybe 4 or 5 days camps.
Oh yeah.
4 days, 5 days.
Like summer camp.
Summer camp, yeah. More like summer camp. So how's yours?
My experience is quite similar to yours.
Yeah.
I was also an organizer of the summer camp.
Yeah.
But
I've joined that summer
department.
Camp,
yeah. The summer camp for high school students.
Yeah.
And it was also 5 days, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah. And the other experience I have with is the head of the department student association
of art department. Yeah.
And that was quite a job, I would say. Yeah.
Hard job, maybe.
And I had a lot of difficulty in that year, I think.
Yeah. I think I've seen it, the whole process.
Yeah, I've seen the process. And you see me struggle with a lot of stuff. And
that would be true.
Yeah. So we will talk about maybe why I failed or maybe some problems that I want to address.
Yeah.
Okay. So we start with you. Okay. So which one do you want to talk about first?
Okay, maybe I think we start with we start as the one that I screwed up the most.
Oh, I screwed up the most.
That's the first one, and that may be the one that you're not so you're not
so familiar with.
Yeah, right.
Because I didn't know you.
Didn't know you now.
Yeah.
And then yeah.
Maybe you want to talk about why you became the manager or the organizer of that certain event.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's just we have been a class, classmates together in the whole 3 years. So at that point, I think at that time I wanted something to challenge with in the 3rd grade. So, and
the same reason why you became the organizer of the orientation camp.
That would be true. Yeah. And I think that's related actually. Yeah. So at that time I just picked maybe the hardest job or the thing that I have never tried for, to be as the organizer of that presentation. And actually I've been being the club leader for 2 years, I think, in the club in my high school. So I think maybe I can try something bigger and more challenging for myself. So I decided to take the place. And following that is what we have to decide what's maybe the theme of our presentation. So after all, we decided a sci-fi, like more like a sci-fi style of the whole theme. So we will do some decorations or do some events like to mimic the sci-fi movies or maybe something like that. And we shoot videos and we just do lots of stuff like that, just aside of the actually scientific presentation part. So are you gonna take a look at?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at it.
Okay,
just quietly. Maybe. You just continue your story.
Okay, so
yeah.
At first, everything goes quite smoothly, I think. So we're decided to do this in sci-fi, and also we actually find just that's one.
Okay, I found it.
We assign and we assign our jobs for every different. We have different groups to do different kind of thing. We have people, part of our classmates, to do the public relation. We have
different departments.
Yeah. So that went quite smoothly, but something just stepped in.
Yeah.
It's the actually it's the SAT in Taiwan.
Oh, okay.
So
the exam, the college entrance exam.
Yeah, the college entrance exam in Taiwan. And
so what happened?
At that time, it's I think it's September, and our exam is at January.
January, yeah.
So
end of January.
So it's we started the preparation in summer. So it's summer vacation, and there's the first obstacle we stepped into is that some people some of our classmates just want to focus more on.
weren't motivated in preparing,
and they want to focus more on prepare the exam. But since we're in the whole in the same class, right? So we're staying in the same classroom.
Yeah,
and it's kind of weird for us to like part of the classroom is discussing excitingly about how do we organize the presentation, how do we do these games, how do we design all the events, and part of them are just studying very quietly, and they didn't want to be disturbed, and so they're actually kind of becoming quite a conflict in our class.
Oh, okay.
Implicit conflict, not so like a cold.
Yeah, like a lose balance.
Between
two groups
of people, and so that at that time, just the tension just became more the emotion become more tense in both part of the class.
Yeah,
and actually that at that time we decided to shoot a video for maybe for intro and for some just some videos for the presentation, and we started to do the filming things and preparing the cameras, preparing the items we have to use, and that's partly disturbed the
students who were preparing for the
exams.
class. Yeah.
So
for the exam,
yeah, and actually I put more of my focus on making that film well.
Oh, okay.
And so I think the balance is just broken. So I didn't focus so much at maintaining the relationships between classmates and between our teams. So at the end, it just come to that. I stepped into. I'm just get too much into the work on filming, but not on the management part.
Yeah.
So the different departments in our class, they have some conflicts, and there are some that argue, and also there are most of things doesn't organize very well since I've gone to do different things, and so there's
I would say your problem is actually and I have the same problem.
Yeah,
is you have problem motivating your teammates.
That
right?
to be true.
Yeah, first problem is that, and the second problem is that you allow yourself to do some of the work that you shouldn't be doing.
I should be focused
as an organizer. You should be managing and
the timeline, maybe checking the deadlines, not doing the real work.
You shouldn't be doing the work. And that was something that I really struggled with. Yeah.
So that was a quite bad experience for me.
Yeah.
But actually, I learned a lot through that process.
Yeah, true. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, and not only from the failure I've done in management, but because I focus on the work on filming.
So it actually became a filmmaker. Yeah.
Maybe, a
little bit,
and maybe I've started to learn more about filmmaking.
Yeah.
So, so after 1 or 2 years, I started to look back and becoming very. I want to do something to change that whole image about management in my mind. So so I've just give that another shot on trying to be an organizer. That's a part of why I decided to go to organize the camp afterwards.
Summer camp
afterwards. So that's quite part of the story.
Yeah.
So maybe would you like to share?
Yeah, I want to talk about your second job, right?
Okay.
Your second job was the vice president of the student association in the residential college, right?
Yeah.
I think in that part, it was less of managing, right? A little bit less.
a little bit less, and actually the work assignments are shared
because it's longer, right?
It's longer.
The period is longer. It's not like an event. It's like managing a whole dormitory throughout the year.
And actually, I've shared a lot of work assignment with my president very well. So I think we worked quite balanced.
I think at that time, project, your challenge would be organizing the magazine, I think.
I
think the magazine management was kind of messed up a little bit too.
A bit too. So it's a thing that in the whole process of being the vice president of student association in my residential college, part of my work is to being the vice president and ask all of my team members to do their job.
Okay.
To make everything go through very well.
Yeah.
Another job I've taken is to become the kind of
editor
in chief of the magazine
that
we have
we publish in the residential college.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we collaborate with.
Yeah,
James.
we collaborated.
Yeah, and also with other editors or writers. I say. So
it was hard to keep track with everybody.
Yeah, and at that time,
but I thought you did like a semi-great job in managing the magazine. I think.
Yeah, I would say
it was the only problem I would say is a little bit off schedule sometimes.
Yeah. But most of the time, I think at that time, the problem I've gone into is a part that it's hard for me to kind of make everyone to hand in their work on time, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm the organizer, and you know about the creative process.
Yeah,
you have to have two deadlines for people.
You have to have like a soft deadline and a hard deadline.
Yeah. So
I should do the work.
Actually, every time I've get into our writers and ask them to kind of hand in your work and how are you doing and how's your progress. So it's a bit awkward since most of them are my friends, and it's hard for me to at that time to maybe push them so hard on just handing their jobs and, for just on time. So yeah, but I think I also came over that problem afterwards in the later project. So so and also at that time there's a quite a very very good thing I've learned about is that the president of the student association at that time, actually she shared a lot of the job with me, and also she's a very strict person on deadlines. So I've learned a lot of skills or maybe just tricks to keep people in track. And also I've learned the importance of keeping the timeline very well, I would say. So it is very important that you I think in management you have to keep everyone in the team to do things on track. You have to keep track of every what they're doing now. And if they're kind of falling back in progress, you have to do give them some support or maybe ask other people to help them. So you have to you should be supportive. I think you should be the backup of all the doers. That's
perhaps I should learn from her.
Yeah, I think she.
I should ask her.
I think she did quite well on this, and actually, but I think it's both of us just do quite well at the time.
Yeah,
I think in the whole.
Throughout
the whole year, I'll say.
Yeah. So you want to talk about your last job? The last organizing job of yours, and which you had a better experience, hopefully, with it, right?
Yeah, I have I think it's the best experience among the three of the events I've held, and also I think it's quite self-achieved. Yeah. I've become self-assured after this event, but there's also some disappointments in this project. A little bit, but not quite effective. So that's quite that hard. So for me, I've considered very very long time if I'm going to be the organizer of that camp.
Okay, of the summer camp.
Of the summer camp. So I've briefly described the summer camp, right?
Yeah.
It's a 5-day summer camp, and in tradition of our residential college, it's an orientation for the freshmen.
Yeah.
That's coming next year. So we also prepare this event in the summer, and in September we held that event, and. Since our residential college, there's a theme of our residential college. There's containing 2 parts. First part is about they focus on the social social awareness. I would say you have to keep track of what the society is getting through, and you have to become maybe sensitive to social issues. So the second theme is to know about yourself.
Okay.
So at that time, I just take these two elements as the main theme of our camp at that time. So I think a very great step I've taken at that time is I decided to make a consensus of the whole team at the very first. So there's about the organizers that joined our team is maybe about 30 people, yeah. And we actually I just take a lot of time just talking with everyone before everything started.
Okay, so getting everybody is on the same page.
Yeah, and try to get into the consensus for everyone to willingly to how to do this camp, how to make this camp work. So at that time, I just set a time that I would sit at the table of our dormitory, and I said a available time for everyone to come to me and talk, discuss to me about how we're going to do about the camp.
Okay.
So any plans or any ideas, you can bring that to me at that time. And also, it's maybe a 2-hour every week. So I've talked to a lot of teammates, maybe I say the members on our team, and also I've having a lot of talk with the one who willing to become the group leader of each groups. Yeah, and actually at that time I also tried maybe I'll say it's very brave. It's very brave for me to try that move. So I've just I didn't take the kind of the ordinary way to organize a camp. We tried to came up with a new method to organize a camp. So we tried that, and actually that is quite a success, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think after that step, I think everything worked very smoothly. In the next month or following month. So everyone just doing their job quite well, and I and other 2 of the head organizers were just doing our each of our assignments very well, and keep track of everyone and having advice on everyone. So but there's another obstacle we're stepping into. It's the quality of the events or the activity, the performance we decided to prepare for the newcomers. So in this whole camp, we we asked a lot of our team members to design different games or maybe performances too.
So consistency was an issue, I would say.
It's quite an issue. So actually we fixed the basic part. Yeah. I think at that time we fixed the basic part is that everyone is quite motivated and quite willing to do everything. It's on the same page. Yes. And the next step we want to take is to make the quality of the whole
of the product.
Of products. I would say to focus more on that. So, but actually step into that problem, it's very, very hard for me to do. So
I think in this experience of yours, I think you learned a lot from your past experiences.
That would be very true.
And you had a lot of fixes to the previous problems.
And do a lot. I think a lot of tricks just works very well.
Yeah, and I think a part of your personality is that you are always willing to change up the system.
Yeah.
You like to maybe decompose original system.
The original system.
To find the individual elements that they have, and then you want to rebuild a system of your own. Yeah. And I think this is a strength of yours, and also subsequently also sometimes could be like
a problem.
Yeah, a problem.
Yeah, I say I think it's a description, but it will take a good result or bad.
It takes a lot of work, and I think it's a little bit riskier.
I think the risk is far more than I have evaluated at that time. So actually, I've looked back now in viewpoint at this time point, at this point, I would say that was quite a brave move.
But I would say it's built into your character. Yeah, it's not something that can change.
That's true. That would be true. Yeah.
So that part I'm quite different with you, because I like to use
the stuff that are traditional way.
Traditional, and then
the way that be validated,
change the elements inside of it. And I think these are both
ways
valid approaches, but it depends on the situation. I would say
both valid ways to make things better. But just take different
and I think it's most effective when both methods are used in a situation, and then you can see which one is better or which one is more doable, I think.
So at that time we're trying to focus on the quality of each games and performances, but where it came into a problem that all of the teammates, all of the group members, they just take a lot of hard work to try to present a very good result or product for us. So maybe they designed a game and they discussed overnight, days, weeks after weeks, and they finally came out to a version that they want to present to us, the kind of the head leaders for the whole group, the whole team.
Okay.
But after we take a look at the whole game, or maybe the performance, and we will give them some reflections. But sometimes they just can't keep up to our standards.
Okay.
But they actually take a lot of time and a lot of works to get into that, to get onto that standard. So they just try very hard, but they cannot reach our standard.
Okay.
So that's the thing, and there's a problem is that if we
push too hard,
they will lose collapse.
Right?
Yeah. But if we didn't push hard enough, the qualities won't get
you
to
won't
our
have
standard.
the result that you want.
Yeah.
So how do you keep them motivated when stuff like this happens? Do you have any systematic approach?
Yeah, actually,
to this problem?
Since one of my partner at that time of the head leaders is he's from math department, but he's quite a pro on the psychology.
Oh, okay.
So and it is more focused especially on the social part of the psychology.
Yeah.
So he provides some aspect or some methods for us to take on that problem. So, like, I think I remember a very, very good little games, for I say. It's just a game for us to do in the whole team. So actually, there's a preparation period for us to work together. We just live in the dorm, and it maybe takes 2 weeks, and everyone just live together and work together every day. So at the end of the first week, everyone is burned out. Yes, everyone presents the best version they think they could have.
Okay.
But mostly are not reach our standard, and ask them to have some change or have some adjustment on their projects. So at that point, the tension comes into a very tense a tense air on throughout the whole team. Very tense. Yeah. So actually we've done a small party, like a small party, and we eat. We have a table, and we prepare a lot of foods to let everybody eat together and have some drinks and
loosen up a little bit.
And loosen up and have maybe have a karaoke. And also we have a little game afterward is that we ask everyone to write a letter to a person that he wants to thank the most in the whole team. And also another letter, another little card. I'd say it's a letter to ask them to write about. There's a thing that you're very regret with throughout the whole event. So there's two letters for us, and we keep the letters, and just for everyone to write down their thoughts. And actually, that's the whole. There's also the whole theme we like to take in the camp. So there's a core idea we've decided in that camp is that we're not only going to hold an event for those newcomers who are going to join the orientation camp.
Also for yourself.
Or everyone who organized it.
That's a very interesting concept.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we after that we write that letters, and after the whole preparation period, we just give the letter back to the one that they want to write to. We don't want to give the card to the one that they want to thank, and the one that you regret, you want to apologize to. So just give back to them, and everyone seeing that, and I think it's that's built a quite strong team in mentally, I'd say.
Yeah.
So
it's a little games, I would say.
It's a little game, but everyone knows about that. They're connected with other team members.
It's a form of communication, I would say.
That would be true.
A better form of communication,
together,
between teams, and
and to share your thoughts.
Yeah. So with my experience, we had a lot less of this kind of
like a sentimental
because
events.
It's harder.
Yeah, it's harder
for a traditional, like not sort of in the residential.
The members who joined in this camp, I would say, maybe.
I would say it's a very different corporate culture, I would say.
Yeah.
Between your team and my team.
Yeah.
I think we can view my team as like a sort of a tech company.
Oh, yeah.
Like
really?
I think a lot of the people who work in my team.
Yeah.
And both of my teams have almost the same people. Yeah.
So maybe you can describe how's the process you prepare for the summer camp.
Yeah.
In the process.
So both of these teams are from our department. Right?
Yeah.
So we have the Department Student Association.
Yeah.
And Association for Summer Camp.
Yeah.
And both of the teams are almost the same people.
Yeah.
And so we organized like about 10 people to prepare for this summer camp.
Yeah.
And we had various groups also. And so a lot of my classmates became the group leaders.
Yeah.
And a lot of the juniors, the junior
yeah.
students became the counselors or like the group
members
of the
who
groups.
do the works. Yeah.
And so I would give them jobs to do.
Yeah.
And then they would distribute it between the group members.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite traditional.
Yeah, it's very traditional. It's very like a hierarchy.
Yeah.
And so I had a little bit problem with. I think summer camp was okay.
Yeah.
I would say summer camp was okay. But
you kind of have a hard time working on the.
I had a harder time with the Department Student Association. So with the summer camp, I think I did a lot less in preparing the summer camp. I would say.
Oh really?
Yeah. There was obviously a lot of the administrative tasks, like getting
the license,
living quarters, and a lot of the administrative tasks.
The permission to get into all the buildings
hard to
maybe.
get. Yeah. And that was a little bit, harder for me.
A bit.
There was a lot of work to do
disturbing,
before the summer camp. Yeah, and it really had an impact on my academic performance, I would say. Wow. It was really tiring. But during the summer camp, I think I did a lot less. And I
just prepare very well.
I gave a lot of the work to the other
vice president.
The vice president of the summer camp. And it turns out that wasn't the best solution either.
Yeah.
Okay. So before the summer camp, I took all the jobs to myself.
And
after the summer during the summer camp, I gave all the jobs to her. And both of these methods are not good. And I think I overcompensated for the work I've done in the prior to the summer camp. And during the summer camp, I did very little.
So you take a break so much, right?
So I would say distribution of the workload is something that needs a lot of thought that goes into it.
Yeah. So how did you like at first, how do you think about the distribution, like the work assignment should go at first when you're kind of preparing for the summer camp?
Yeah, I think there should be like a person that would do
you have an assistant to do all these things,
the administrative tasks. Yeah. And we could maybe cooperate a little bit more in the organization of this summer camp, because it requires a lot of thinking beforehand. You know how you want all the activities to go. And a lot of the core concepts of the summer camp needs to be sorted out much earlier. Much earlier than actually step into the preparation of the summer camp, right? And because we did a lot of work in that part, and that is not obvious to all the workers, so they might think that you're not really doing much during the summer camp, and that would be. I think that would increase the chance of conflict. During the summer camp.
And I think I think that's the part of transparency. You're not. And maybe your work is not.
Is like I'm willing to share my work with people, and also not trusting enough
for
people to do the work, to do their works.
I see.
And so I trusted too much of them during the summer camp, which was an overcompensation, I think, of the previous
of the period, the work that you've done so much beforehand.
So that was a disaster.
Really?
A little bit, but I think the summer camp was good, but internally, for me myself, it was kind of a hard time, I would say.
It's a suffer
before, and after.
Suffer during the whole process.
There was I think it wasn't a lot of conflict, but I think internally.
So how did you decide to kind of becoming the organizer of the camp?
Because when I first attended the summer camp to help out, I thought it was a really great
experience for you.
Really good experience, and I think they built a lot of good environment.
Okay,
and a good atmosphere. For all those attending. So I wanted to be organizing the whole summer camp.
So who built the atmosphere, right?
I thought that my classmates all thought the same. So that was the main problem, is that we weren't necessarily on the same page in doing the summer camp. And the same problem actually goes into being the head of the student association.
And actually, I think for me, it's the most learning point I've got throughout the experience I've had before. So actually, nowadays, when I'm organizing on team or maybe do any works, I will try very hard to
keep everybody on the same page.
At the very first. So you have to do this. And you have to.
I'm sure of that.
And it's and eventually, scientifically, when I studied in the book club, our mentors told us that is you have to explore this thing by yourself, but actually it's quite kind of a core concept for those companies to do this. You have to keep the idea to be consistent throughout the whole throughout the whole project. You work together as a team.
So I think as in my stint of the head of the Department Student Association, I had a very good vice president, which was Daniel. Who was very helpful during the time that I was head of the Student Association. And I think the main problem there was we had a lot of events throughout the year. We had to prepare for
every event.
And I think me and Daniel took most of the work also to ourselves. And we had a problem keeping the team motivated. We also had like a 10-people team that were planned to help us with the events. But eventually they all went to study for school more than anything else. And I think they all thought that they had more important things to do than doing the student association. And so, and also when we first came to them, I think we did not really establish we weren't really on the same page, I would say.
Yeah, how you not decide the institution of between people.
Yeah, and so they focus more on their homework, their own projects.
Yeah, but not the responsibility they have. They promise to take in the students' association. I would say. So, I think how to keep the promise is quite important for every members. You have to
keep track of your team members and to keep them motivated. Very important, but it's the part that I struggle with.
Yeah, and also this is a thing that I struggle with very much during the period I've been the vice president of the student association in my dormitory.
In your dormitory,
but I think on this topic, the time span just affects everything. Since the events like a summer camp, we prepare for the events.
It's shorter,
much shorter.
Yeah,
and the preparation is more intensive than the preparation of all the events or activities we have to prepare for, like in the Students Association, since the Students Association just takes for a whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the events after the spaces between all the events is like maybe 1 month or half a month. So, like for the camp, the space between the preparation of 2 events maybe like 2 days or 3 days. So I think it's quite different on the managed point of view. You have to take different methods, but I haven't figured out how to do that quite well since I didn't done it very well being the vice president, but I haven't had a chance to maybe validate my ideas, new ideas on that.
It's hard. Well. We don't have much chance right now.
But I think like in the ordinary companies or maybe tech companies or maybe like traditional or any companies that corporation you work in the society, I think they have a quite strong method for them to keep everyone in track in the whole year, and it's annually. They have to update their everyone's how everyone's working, weekly or maybe monthly or maybe yearly,
progress reports.
And that's also I learned very much from the book club.
Okay.
So our mentor told us that for a corporate to be great, or successful, there's a key point they have to keep track of very well, is that they have to make how to check out everyone's work very carefully. They have to study how everyone is working, how the result of everyone's work very carefully.
You have to have a standard to grade people.
And it's very necessary to be a transparent and also a fair standard for everyone.
Oh, okay.
You have to measure everyone in the same scale.
You have to measure everybody's performance
in the same scale. And also it's not only the same scale, but also a a positive scale.
Oh, okay.
It's not. It shouldn't be a negative or like oppressive scale.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and I learned just quite so much in that lesson.
Yeah. I think I want to talk a little bit more about also managing this podcast, and also talk to you a little bit about the skills, and maybe I need to learn some of those from you. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll take a short break, and we'll see you later.
Soon.
Yeah. Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back.
So during the break, we discussed a lot about
like how our podcast is running,
and a lot of the the techniques in running a company or a corporation.
Yeah, maybe.
So currently, with our podcast, I'm in a bit of a trouble, in a little bit of I would say it's a higher,
a bottleneck,
a little bit of a bottleneck, because sometimes I feel like the ideas that I have with this podcast, or with the growth of this podcast is a little bit bottlenecked,
stuck by
the whole corporation, I would say,
the
whole group,
the team,
a little bit,
So can you describe how's the struggle you're facing now?
Because I am in charge of most of
the production
tasks
part
with podcasting.
Yeah.
A lot of the finding the ideas, new ideas, and also the production.
Yeah.
And post production of the podcast. And sometimes I have a lot of new ideas that I want to test out. To maybe improve our podcast, even in the content or also in our team.
Yeah, the cooperating of our team.
Yeah, in managing the team.
Yeah.
And this is related to management.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like these ideas cannot be
just get on the ground.
Be operated quickly.
Yeah.
Like or in the schedule that I wanted to happen.
Yeah, decided to happen. So part of that is maybe the communication between us.
Yeah, a little bit. It's with the communication.
It's not so intensive. Consider with maybe the rhythm beyond your creative process.
Yeah,
yeah. But I think it's quite reasonable since maybe there's sometimes you have a new idea and you want to have someone to talk about this, but maybe at the time we're in class or maybe we're doing something else.
Busy,
or
right?
Busy, on the other point. So
I'm also afraid this will take up too much of your time. So so I don't want to push too hard. But if I don't push it, then
no one will done it.
Push it back to me.
Yeah.
So
that comes
comes back
to you.
Me. Yeah. And I'm not sure about the commitment of all you guys,
So is there any concern about that? Why don't you just try it? Just try it directly.
I think sometimes I have this lack of confidence in testing new stuff.
Yeah.
And I often want to validate my ideas through you guys.
Others
to find validation in you guys.
Yeah.
And maybe also receive some help from you. In making the project work. Okay. Yeah.
But like I've heard about that problem described by James just quite a few times.
Yeah.
And there's some ideas I came out with is that I think ideas should be more formalized. It's like to make that you just write it on paper or maybe type it on some note taking app or something, and like sharing. You just post it with us, and we just if we have other ideas, we just post that online, and everyone can check it out. Like maybe after 1 day or 2 days, if we're having free time, we'll check it out and give our reflections,
response
to your ideas. But actually, that is counter to the idea that you want your ideas to be implemented very fast, very quickly. Yeah.
So I thought of a solution to this is to writing a web app. Okay. I also thought of a name for it. Okay. It's called DRS. Okay.
DRS.
It's from racing. It's from Formula One racing.
Okay.
And it means a drag reduction system.
Okay? Oh, okay. Drag.
So I think system. Mostly I want to fast track my idea making process and decision making process, and I want my ideas to be green lighted fairly quickly so that I can, work on it.
Yeah, but I think your main concern about the whole thing is that you don't want to make the decision only by yourself.
Yeah, only by myself.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think this is also a management problem.
Yeah.
In the collaboration between three of us.
Okay.
Yeah, because like other teams or maybe other like our organization or other companies, they actually have a more like a hierarchy.
Oh, okay.
On just decision. Actually, the head decide most of the critical things. That's the ideal circumstances is that the head decided the direction and they assign all this project, the works to other team members, and they decided some more subtle things by themselves. But for our team, we're quite fair. We stand on the same points in this team, so we're concerned about each other. Is that we would like to decide something only by ourselves, but only by myself, but by having a consensus with everyone.
I think there's a problem with character. You know, there's a because I have maybe multiple characters in this project.
And also work assignments on this.
Because sometimes I am the decision maker, and most of the time I am
doers,
actually the one doing the work. So I have this conflict of character between these two characters, and so I should focus on one of those, I think.
But I think we should like construct a way of collaborating, like a system of how we work, and try to renew that system maybe on a monthly or seasonal basis, and then we just follow how we work during the whole process, so everyone wouldn't have to concern so much about how do we make decisions, since if we have like maybe a weekly meeting to decide everything and work assignments, we won't have to take care of like how do we decide how do we make this decision, just make it real and make this concept real. That's my opinion.
I think a lot of the time, because we're so new of a project, of a team, and I really want to grow as its founder. I really want to see it grow faster than it should.
But
so a lot of time,
hard.
I want to push a lot of things faster.
Than
maybe
it should be.
They happen.
They happen. And like, but I think the key concept of sustainability, as a start point of our podcast, it should be maintained no matter what. So, but now we haven't came out with if now we haven't came out with a better idea to let everyone's idea can be maybe implemented or maybe realized very fast. But we can still rely on a kind of semi grade system to
I think that
do
should
the
be
work
case.
and to relieve our concern about decision making. I think that's maybe my solution on this problem.
Because thinking about this question, actually most of the decision up to now has been made by me, and a lot of the process have been facilitated also by me. So I should be able to take control of where this project goes. But deep inside me, I also have a sentiment that I want to share this with everybody. It's a team project. It's a group project.
It's not.
So I would like to respect all of your ideas and all of your thoughts on a lot of the decision making process.
And also the physical part.
So there will be there will be a conflict, I think.
On the two characters. And also there's a more physical part, is that's the whole setup and the domain knowledge or the skills are owned by you. It's not I and Daniel doesn't
currently we cannot
to do things.
Outsource this kind of activity.
But I think that is also part of the reason why we couldn't be so that creative as you are.
Okay.
So that's part of the thing we discussed about, and I think the difference, kind of the difference between concepts and characters between three of us is not quite a problem we have to solve. It's quite a condition we're now step into.
Okay.
So the way we can try is to we do a self-train maybe lesson or maybe a train project for everyone and make both of us grow.
Okay.
So maybe in long term or mid term, on a longer term, it will be a better idea for everyone, for three of us to grow together. Maybe.
And I think I really should write that web app I was thinking about.
If you want to,
because sometimes in group chats you tend to lose like the projects and the ideas, and it's hard to get immediate feedback.
That is also something I've learned from the book club, is that he suggested that every work should be every work should be like modular.
Oh, okay.
Like it should be stated very clear, and everyone should keep track of it very easily, and also they have to we have to have a system to give a
so now we put all the
feedback.
Projects in the same group chat, which makes it harder for us to keep track of
everything.
What is happening. Yeah.
So maybe having another platform for us, like it's more like have you know about the Kanban method?
Maybe there's like post-it notes.
Yeah, the post-it notes. It says method suggested by Toyota, and they just have a whiteboard or a dashboard and on every project, and they have posts for describing what this project and what the next work and the next step and the next step and next step, and they just list it on a big board. Everyone could get to the board and check it out.
Yeah.
If there's everyone's progress going smoothly, or if there's anything for us, we can collaborate with other departments or something.
That seems effective, I would say.
Yeah. And that is also the quite same concept as you want to build a website for. It's quite similar.
Yeah, to build a system for all of us to,
and like I would say,
record our process.
If you would like to do this, you just do it.
Just do it.
You just don't care about three of us. I think most of the time.
So that was what I told you the other day, is to assume the role of the CEO.
Okay? Yeah, and also
take management.
Take management, and also we have to. I think the three of us should get into a consensus that everyone just do whatever you want and check it out with everyone with a half product with something that's have done in a bit progress, and we can take a look at that thing and give you reflect more.
I think
responses.
That is what we should do. Yeah. Is to first make it, and then we can discuss if we want to launch it.
Yeah. So, I just suggested that we should have a system to rely on and to keep it renewed.
Yeah.
On a monthly or year or seasonal basis. Yeah.
I think I have a fear in making decisions based on the previous events. Yeah, but now I think I want to try again.
And I this is something to conquer with.
Yeah, I think it's something to conquer. I want to try again, and also I think having more knowledge on management or how a media company actually works is also beneficial.
Right? Quite beneficial. Yeah.
So continue to go to the book club, and we'll ask you questions.
Okay,
related to management.
I'll try to share everything point I learned with you, and also that is quite our mentor suggested, is that you should make what you've learned to everyone, so everyone have the same knowledge basis. So we have
it's about being transparent.
Yeah, we have a start point to discuss the whole thing. If we didn't have the start point, we won't go into discuss everything. Yeah, we have to have a start point to discuss everything. Yeah.
So I think we'll try that next week, maybe.
Or maybe continue with the next season. This is the work on this season. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to hold a business meeting with the two of you and discuss this further. Also, one problem is, how do you motivate?
So how did you motivate?
Yeah, how do I motivate?
How do you motivate yourself in the whole process? I would ask.
I think it's about building something.
Yeah.
On your own.
Creative.
Yeah, and a lot of it just, you can see the things you build on the internet, and that is like a main motivation for myself. To see something that you have built to come into reality.
Yeah, that is also so true for me, and actually comparing to you, I didn't put that much work and time on this project, but I can also see a very
you can see your own progress.
Yeah,
and also you can build a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and also
and I think the thing that we both like is to build stuff. Yeah,
and I also see there's progress in my English skill abilities.
That is also something,
and that's also very obvious and motivates us very well.
Yeah.
So I would like to quote one of the statements just described by the mentor in my book club.
Okay.
He said that the success is accumulated by every successful steps you have taken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he just negate the idea that our Chinese quote that the failure is the mother of success. he said that success is accumulated by successes.
Okay.
So
by
you
little
should
successes. Yeah.
So you should keep yourself every step to be a success.
Okay.
Although you cannot predict that after everything, just after all of the things you have done, you will get into a success stage. But if you get everything very successful to yourself, and you made the promise to yourself, and you've done that, and you keep your promise to yourself, then after all, it will be a success to yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with this.
Yeah.
Seeing all these episodes being built, recorded,
I'm quite confident on.
It's already like a success for me, I would say. To continue,
just no matter
in the beginning, we didn't think we could last this long. To continue to do this for like 3-4 months and beyond, I think.
Yeah, and actually, I'm very proud of showing the season 1 to my friends or maybe my like the new friends I've made, and they've heard about. Hey, you're working on the radio, or you're working on podcasts.
It's actually a cool thing to do, I think.
Have a follower. It's very cool. Yeah.
So I would like to keep doing this, and I think I am confident that I can keep myself motivated.
Yeah.
For quite a long time. Yeah. So hopefully we can work on this together. Yeah.
Longer. And ever.
So our new show. I want to talk a little bit about our new show. We wanted to. I think we already recorded episode 1.
Yeah.
And it's a partial success, I would say. There are still things we want to fix about it. But I think
it's just a beta version, right?
Yeah, I think we will
keep on
release it to the public.
Yeah.
When we have a few episodes.
And we're very glad, very willing to hear your responses on this.
It's a much shorter show.
Yeah.
And we are also working with a mentor right now. On this podcast. And hopefully we can continue to work on this and facilitate a lot of the creative process much more quicker.
And more efficient. Yeah.
So you will only hear more from us. So we'll really try hard on that front. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's about the time we have for today.
Yeah.
And we want to encourage you to follow us on social media
and every platform.
And every platform you can see us.
Yeah.
We had a recent change in platform, so some of the podcasts might be off for a few days.
Yeah. But we're
fixing that. Yeah. So you
can follow.
You can find us still on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, and we have the new season 2 artwork.
Yeah.
And also new intros and. I think a shorter version of
it.
Anyways, just small changes, and we want to see if you can find out about those. Yeah.
Yes.
And also, we wanted to encourage you to respond to us on YouTube. Yeah.
That's just very important to us, and also important to you, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see you next week with Daniel back.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.